Hello, and welcome to the first and probably final episode of whatever I'm calling this. I don't have a title yet. I guess you can call it a solo cast, podcast. I want to try something different where I no longer have to edit videos. I've been gone for like a month now from the channel because I just got tired of it and took a break and decided if I'm going to come back to this channel, I'm going to come back doing something where I don't have to edit or any of that shit. So what I'm going to do now from now on, unless you guys hate it, then I'll just stop YouTube altogether, is I'm going to do mini reviews and rankings and talk horror news stuff all in one video. No editing, no clips, no graphics, no nothing, because I'm sick of that shit. And so yeah, I got burnout on YouTube and it was no longer fun. It became a chore, and so I wanted to quit. Then I decided, why not try this instead? And I think it's a better idea because now I can talk about multiple movies in one video, do a ranking, I can do whatever the fuck I want here. It's all one take. So as soon as I hit stop recording, I can just upload it right away. It's much easier that way. So yeah. And I'm pretty high up, trying to get centered. This webcam sucks. And I had to change my chair because my last chair kept squeaking like a motherfucker. And so now I'm on a bar stool, so I'm pretty high up. So I have to like hunch down. I'm having a lot of technical difficulties over here. I've been spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to get this damn microphone to sound decent. This is the best I can get this microphone to sound. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, microphone. I thought I said something else. All right. Yeah, this is the best I can get this microphone to sound. So if you don't like it, let me know, and I'll say too bad. So today, what I'm going to do in this podcast, solo cast episode, whatever you want to call it, is I'm going to talk about a few movies that came out this year that I haven't talked about before, and they're just going to be mini reviews. And I've seen them long ago, so my memory is pretty bad on these movies. I can't even talk in depth about each one anyway. So I'm just going to quickly talk about these movies from this year. Just quickly say if I liked it, disliked it, and talk about some horror news, things coming up, movies that I'm looking forward to, shit like that. And thought about ending this video with a ranking of the Halloween franchise. How's that sound? I haven't ranked the franchise since Halloween Kills or Halloween Ends, so I'm going to do that. And I'm finally going to answer some of these questions I got a long time ago. I asked for some questions for a Q&A, and I got about 10 questions here, so yeah, I'm going to answer those later on also. So let's just blow through some horror news topics here. And now it's old news by this point, but this is the first time I get to talk about it. So the Friday the 13th franchise is, I guess, finally going to get something out there, and it's going to be a prequel TV series. It's not going to be a movie. I guess maybe rights reasons they can't make movies, but legally they're allowed to make a TV series, I guess, on Peacock, and it's going to be produced by A24. That sounds interesting. I'm not sure what exactly they're going to do, like what they mean by prequel. So is it going to be about Mrs. Voorhees, the 20 so years or so, what was it, like 1958? Is it going to be like the years leading up to part one, or is it just going to be the years leading up to Jason drowning? Are we going to see Jason as a kid and his relationship with his mom? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to that. Like A24 usually makes, a lot of great movies, and I think they could probably make a great TV series. So I'm looking forward to that. We got The Strangers remake and I guess a trilogy planned. So we're going to get 3 more of those. I'm not sure why we're getting a remake so damn soon. How long has it been since the first one came out? Like 10 years ago? Like 2009, 8? And we just got a sequel like what? 3 years ago? 4 years ago? It just seems a little soon to be remaking a movie already. It's not even that old, but whatever. So we're going to get 3 more Strangers movies, since I guess all the villains got killed off in the last one. Spoiler. And another thing is David Gordon Green, the director of the Halloween trilogy that just came out. He's going to do another trilogy, another direct sequel trilogy for The Exorcist. And he's going to have Ellen Burstyn, the actress, the mother from the original. She's coming back for I guess at least one more. Yeah, I mean, I'm not big on Halloween Kills or spoiler Halloween Ends. I didn't like it, so I'm not looking forward to this at all. Like, I'm not even a big fan of The Exorcist. Like, it's good, but I'm not a lover of The Exorcist, and I don't have much faith in David Gordon Green anymore. He kind of broke my heart with the last two movies. So, and now Scream 6 is coming sooner than we thought. The release date got pushed up or back, however you want to look at it. It's coming sooner. Scream 6 is basically going to be Jason Takes Manhattan. I heard it's going to be in New York City, so a different setting. So yeah, I mean, I think it's the same directors, right? And they're bringing back a character from the dead who died in Scream 4, I heard. They're bringing her back. Can anybody die in this franchise? Like, really? Can anyone just fucking die and stay dead? And it's like the Marvel Universe. Scream. They just can't kill anybody. Dewey will be back in Scream 6, probably. So yeah, what else? Terrifier 2 on Screenbox. Like I said, this is old news. Terrifier 2, highly recommend that movie, and I heard they submitted that film to the Oscars as a joke, but that would be funny if it won the Oscars. I hope it does. It deserves it. And Mike Flanagan and Stephen King apparently love Terrifier 2, and they even got Stephen King's quote on Terrifier 2's the cover now. It wasn't there before when I pre-ordered it. Now it's there. So we got a new Cloverfield movie in the works. I just reviewed that trilogy. Now we're getting a fourth movie. I'm not sure if it's going to be a remake, another sequel, loose sequel. But it's by writer Joe Barton, who wrote The Ritual. So yeah, I'm curious to see what that's going to be all about. I don't have many plot details for it, so hopefully it's connected to the first one or something. I would like a direct sequel, not just another movie that barely feels like Cloverfield, but it's called Cloverfield something. But I do love 10 Cloverfield Lane. I would actually like to see a sequel to that. I hope this is like secretly a sequel to 10 Cloverfield Lane, and we get the return of Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I would actually like that more. See her go fight the aliens with her Molotov cocktails. Like, that movie's amazing. Mary Elizabeth Winstead's amazing. Final Destination 6, one of my favorite franchises, is finally getting a sequel. This has been in the news for a few years. They just keep hiring different writers, and like they keep like dropping little breadcrumbs like every year. Like, they talked about this movie like in 2019. I even made a video in January 2019. Like, there's a Final Destination 6. Here we are, almost 4 years later, and we're still hearing news. There's a Final Destination 6 coming. It's like, where the fuck is it? And now it's got new writers, Adam Stein and Zach Lipovsky, who directed Freaks, which I haven't seen yet, and Leprechaun Origins. And there's an interesting story about how they got hired to be the directors. Apparently, they faked their deaths during a Skyping session with the studio, and that's how they got hired. And one of the writers is going to be writer Guy Buswick, who wrote Scream 5 and Ready or Not. I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about that, because it's like, I don't like Scream 5, but I love Ready or Not. So will Guy do a good job writing Final Destination 6? Hopefully. Don't fuck up my franchise. Like, this is one of my favorite franchises, top 3, so don't fuck it up, Guy. And you too, Adam, Zach, make a good one. Gory kills. I heard they're changing up the formula, so that's kind of a little. I don't like the sound of that. Like, there's a formula to this franchise. I don't want them fucking with it too much. Apparently, it's going to be very different, but I'm not sure how different. They won't say all the details, but apparently, it's not going to be exactly like the first 5. So, is there going to be premonitions anymore? Or they better not have death show up like a Grim Reaper and a black cloak, a scythe or something. Like, just don't explain too much. Like, I hope they don't fuck up this franchise. Please don't. We're getting A Quiet Place. This is a franchise that I never knew would become a franchise, but now we got a trilogy here. It's going to be called A Quiet Place Day 1, which we kind of already saw a little bit of in A Quiet Place 2. And it's in casting right now. They're not shooting it yet, but they just hired Lupita Nyong'o. I don't know how to say her last name, but she's from Black Panther, I believe, Us, and Little Monsters, a zombie comedy on Hulu that I recommend. And it's going to be written and directed by Michael Sarnowski, who directed and wrote Pig with Nicolas Cage. Wasn't too huge on that movie, but hopefully he does a good job with this A Quiet Place movie. And so now we got a couple of movies coming out next year that I'm really looking forward to. First one is James Wan and Akala Cooper's Megan. It's not going to be directed by James Wan, which is a shame, but he is going to produce it and get a story credit, I believe, in Akala Cooper, who wrote Malignant, amazing movie, in my opinion. And she's writing this one, Megan, and it's basically Child's Play, the remake. It's going to be like the Child's Play remake all over again, but looks interesting. And it's coming out in January, and it's from director Gerard Johnstone, who directed Housebound, a horror comedy about like a haunted house, and a woman is like under house arrest, so she can't leave the haunted house. But then there's a twist, and I was all right with that movie. A lot of people love that movie. To me, it wasn't really funny, so hopefully Megan is better than Housebound, because I wasn't that high on it. And the next movie coming out next year is a like loose sequel to Searching, and it's called Missing. It's from the same writers and director, or the directors are gonna write this one, but they also wrote the first one. But the directors of Searching are no longer directing Missing. They're writing it though, so it's got the same people. I believe it's the editors, if I'm not mistaken. The editors of the first one are the directors of this one, so that's interesting. So yeah, that's all I got to talk about news-wise. Those are two movies I'm looking forward to next year's, Missing and Megan. I don't know anything else coming out, but yeah, there's like a Winnie the Pooh movie coming out. I don't give a shit about that. That looks terrible. So, mini review time, and when I say mini, I mean mini. I'm just going to quickly blow through these and say what, if I like it or not. I mean, it's been so long since I've seen them, so I can't even really describe them that much. I've seen a million movies since. So, the first like 5 or 6 movies I'm going to talk about, I like. The last 4 or so, I did not like. So, first one up is Fall. This one is about these two crazy ladies climbing this 2,000-foot tower, and then they get stuck at the top. And I have a fear of heights, so this movie just had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. It was pretty convincing. It looked like they were really there. You could just feel the wind blowing through. Like, oh my gosh, it just had my heart racing. I just could not look at the screen. I was like, no. Like, it was just too much for me. I just thought they were so fucking crazy. Like, and there's a twist towards the end that I did not see coming, so I liked that. I would recommend this, especially if you have a fear of heights like me. So yeah, very simple premise. They're just stuck, and they have to try to get down or like get other people's attention. But yeah, when I think about it, I still think about it from time to time. When I think about being in that situation, it like gives me goosebumps. I can't handle it. Smile. I saw that at the theater. Thought it was all right. A bit generic. Been here, done that. It's nothing too different, but I did like the look of the Smile monster. I heard it was all practical effects. It looked amazing. The acting was great. The opening kill was pretty disturbing, just the way that was shot and done. The music I thought was unique. Really liked the soundtrack to this movie. Interesting story to tell about my theater experience. There was a group of guys, probably a little younger than me, in their 20s, probably on drugs or just a bunch of assholes trying to disrupt everyone's movie-going experience. They were just being loud, acting like they were so goddamn scared, just like, oh my god, oh my god. Like, anytime something scary was happening, they would say something like, no, no. And then one guy ran out of the theater for like 5 minutes, didn't come back for a while, came back in, like, seriously. And then one guy, this is the cherry on top, I couldn't believe this happened. So one guy took his shoe off and threw it at the screen because it scared him. Like, I don't know what his thought process was there. To this day, I'm still wondering, like, why would you take your shoe off and throw it at the movie screen? because it scared you, or because you want attention, or you just want to be a fucking dick. All the above. Like, oh my gosh. So yeah, that was a horrible theater experience, but yeah, I still enjoyed the movie. I'd recommend it. I watched Rob Zombie's The Munsters. It's not anywhere near as bad as people are saying. I quite enjoyed it. I watched it with my family because, it's Rob Zombie's first PG family friendly movie. It's got a lot of corny jokes. It's got all the familiar Rob Zombie actors, and it's like everybody, Sherry Moon, you name them. You've seen them in all his other films. They're in this one too. I love the cinematography, the use of colors. It's a very colorful, gothic, atmospheric film. I really like just the look of this movie, but there was actually quite a few jokes that landed. I was actually cracking up a couple of times. There's more hits than misses in my opinion when it comes to the jokes. There's some dad jokes. There's a little bit of dark humor in there. I enjoyed it, so I'm not down on it like everyone else. Bodies, bodies, bodies. This is a movie about a party game that I've never heard of before. Is Bodies, Bodies, Bodies real? I'm guessing it is, but I've never played it. But yeah, so basically someone ends up dead, and then all these friends during a hurricane start suspecting each other of murder, and one by one, people are dropping dead. There's a lot of paranoia, a lot of TikTok, a lot of Gen Z words, people just using hot words that they see today on Twitter, like, I don't know. I'm hardly on Twitter, but they're using a lot of like jargon from today, things that kids today say, and they're just the worst friends. You could tell that they don't really like each other. They're a bunch of backstabbing pricks that deserve to die. But yeah, what I like about this movie though was the reveal at the end about like what was happening. When that was revealed, I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. But I heard a lot of people did not like that. They were expecting something else, some other kind of reveal, some motivation that was going to blow their mind, But it's not that. I liked what it ended up being. The next movie is Unhuman by Marcus Dunstan, Patrick Melton, the guys behind the Saw sequels, The Collector and the Collection. This is like a zombie movie with a twist. Another cool film, like aesthetically, like the lighting, lots of colorful lighting, but it's the reveal in this movie that is pissing a lot of people off, and I was okay with it. It's a zombie comedy, not a lot of comedy. I wish there was more of that. I wish there was more gore in this, but the reveal at the end kind of explains why there wasn't as much violence in it as I would have wanted. But yeah, it was all right. I give it a 3 out of 5. I kind of liked it. It seems to be hated mostly. It seems like most people don't like it, but I enjoyed it. So next movie is Nope. Nope. I did not see this at the theaters. I just watched it last month, rented it at Redbox, and this movie is getting praised because it's Jordan Peele. I feel like everyone's just praising it because it's Jordan Peele, but I could be wrong. Like maybe there's something to this movie that I'm just not getting, but to me, it was just fine. It's a sci-fi comedy-ish. There's just that one goofy character, and everything he said was just not funny to me. I didn't think anything he said was funny. The guy with like the bleached hair, like the tech whiz guy, I didn't think he was funny one bit. I thought the movie was longer than it needed to be. I could have done without the whole the Asian guy's character. I don't know his name. I could have done without all his background with the monkey and all that shit. Like, I don't get why it's there. I'm sure there's a reason. I just don't get it. But fuck, did it really need to be there? This movie needed to be trimmed. I thought there were some cool moments, like when it starts like raining blood, like the end of Evil Dead, and the alien like spaceship is like shitting things out of the sky, the things it doesn't want, it's rejecting things. Like, it's an interesting concept. It's the execution I'm not big on. I just was not really that into the characters. It's acted well, shot well, bigger budget film. But I just wasn't into it. I'm not a big sci-fi guy, so this movie just really wasn't for me. I would have liked more stuff happening, like a bigger, climax than what we got. And I was a little underwhelmed with this movie. Not a bad movie, but to me it's just a little overhyped, overrated. It's just not my cup of tea. Now we're getting into the movies I don't like. So, first up is Hellraiser by the director of The Ritual. My back's gonna be like permanently arched over by the end of this. Ugh, Jesus. So yeah, Hellraiser. This is a remake, I guess, or it could be a sequel. What do I want to say about this movie? I hate the look of the Cenobites. I don't care that it's a woman. I'm not one of those people who's like, it should be Doug Bradley again. He's still acting right. Like, or like, how dare you replace him? Or they should all look the same. Like, you can make the Cenobites look different, but just make them look better, not so like action figure. Like they look glossy and weird, and lots of CGI that just looked so fucking awful. And like this movie just lacked imagination, and it just wasn't. I like that they did more with the box. There was a lot more to the box this time. It actually was like a puzzle, and all the different shapes meant different things. There was a reveal about one of the characters that kind of surprised me, but it was just like, okay, oh, I didn't see that coming, but it didn't like blow my socks off. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. It was whatever. Like the movie was boring. I did not like any of the characters. Man. Some people might not like this movie because of the gay stuff. There's a lot of that in this movie, but I don't care. I just was not into this movie. Just did not like the characters, did not like the CGI, did not like the lack of imagination to this movie. Like, I wanted to see creative, like, hell for these people, like, what their hell was like. And, like, when the rooms start to, like, change, like, in the original, and they, like, the area around them, like, morphs into, like, the hell world, and the chains appear and shit, like, it should have looked cooler. Like, nowadays, with the CGI, all the money this movie probably had, like, what was the budget? Like, they should have had cooler sets, better atmosphere to this film. I just did not like the look of it, did not like the look of the Cenobites. It just bored me, did not care. It just felt like a lot of the other sequels. They didn't feel much different, really. The only thing different about it was just the puzzle box aspect. Like, that was it. I just was not big on this movie. If I did, like, a ranking, it would be in the bottom, like, 4, like the bottom half of the franchise for me. I just did not like it. Next movie is Dark Glasses, the newest film by Dario Argento, the Italian filmmaker behind films such as Suspiria and Inferno, the whole Mother of Tears trilogy, and all those giallos. I've reviewed a lot of his movies. I've even done a ranking of his films, like top 5, I think it was. So I'm an Argento fan. I did a top 10 directors. He made my top 10 favorite directors, but I did not like this movie. It was just, again, boring, and the main, like, Asian kid actor I thought was terrible. He has his daughter, I believe, as the main actress in this film, and she gets naked, so it's weird that Dario likes to put his daughter naked in a lot of his films. It's just a little weird to me. But I guess it's a cultural thing. It's okay in Italy. I don't know. But yeah, it's the whole giallo aspect to the film. It's trying to be like a throwback. It's him going back to his roots. It's a murder mystery, but not really, because the killer is so obvious from the beginning. As soon as you meet this guy, you're like, it's probably him. I hope not, because it's too obvious. But then they don't even really. I don't remember there being like a lot of red herrings. It's just like, all right, here's this one creep, and yep, he's the killer, and they reveal it kind of early, like, not in the first act or anything, but like towards the third act. I don't know. It was just a little early, and I was like, oh, so it's really that guy? Okay. And there's this weird sequence in a pond, I think, with like snakes that went on for way too long. It's not a long movie, but it felt long. And yeah, just visually, it's nowhere near as visually beautiful and well shot as all his earlier work. It feels like he's lost his, artistry. I don't know what to say. Like, he's lost his skill, I guess. He's just not that good anymore. I haven't seen Dracula 3D, but I heard that's dog shit from a lot of people. So, yeah, I was not a fan of Dark Glasses. Moving on to a movie that I would say is the most overrated film of this year. And I would say it has, to me, the worst fucking script of this year. The most, like, roll your eye moments, the most, like, plot conveniences, like, get the fuck out of here moments. Like, hated this movie, and that is Barbarian. Fuck this movie. Moving on. Next. All right, here's what I liked about it. I liked the music. I remember that being good. And I liked the performances were fine. I mean, Justin Long's in it. He's good. Kind of the goofy character, which is usually his style. He's usually that kind of guy. It had Pennywise, forget his name, Skarsgård. He was in it. You're not quite sure about his character at first. This movie is like 3 different movies in one. It's like Act 1 is like this paranoia thriller. Like, can she trust this guy? Is he going to hold her captive? Like, what's going on here? The second act is like this comedy with Justin Long and like this statement about the Me Too movement. It's like that kind of stuff. He's being accused of rape and you're not sure if he's innocent or not. And then the third act is just this bonkers, just out of left field, supernatural, fucked up, unbelievable, just bullshit. And it's not unique, like people are saying. We've seen this kind of monster before plenty of times. Even the way she looks, I've seen that look quite a few times. And it's so out of left field. It's not set up at all. It's just a complete tonal shift that I was not on board with. The movie pretends like it's going to go like in risky directions and do some scary shit or disturbing stuff like with the breastfeeding scene, and then as soon as it's about to get going, it just cuts to something else. It just makes a U-turn and goes to something else. It's like, no, let's go back to what was happening over there because that was actually going somewhere. No, let's just go over here. We're going to pretend like we're killing this person. No, we're not killing that person. And it's like, I fucking hated this movie. Fuck this movie. I hated it. So Barbarian, overrated. I just don't see what other people are saying. Everyone is blowing this movie to the point that it's just making me hate the movie more. All right, Terror Train. And you know why? You know why I get pissed off too? Because some people are like comparing it to Malignant. I don't see the comparison at all. Malignant's actually a good movie. So don't compare it to Malignant because it's not Malignant. All right, it's not. So Terror Train, the remake. When I heard that this was being done, I thought, okay, here's an opportunity to improve on this, original slasher that's just kind of ho-hum, like fine, but the kills sucked. Interesting premise, cool that the killer changes his mask quite a few times. But then, but then they just have goreless, horrible kills in the original, and it's kind of boring. So when I heard about this remake, I was like, okay, they can improve on the kills, and change the twist, do something a little different. And then what do we get? We got a shot for shot, almost like line for line. It's like the Psycho remake. Every scene was the same scene. Every kill, I believe, was the same kill, except on screen for a few extra seconds. You get some like CGI blood squirts, like CGI blood. Fuck you. Like CGI blood is never convincing. When have you ever seen CGI blood in a movie and thought like, oh, that actually looked good? Like it takes you out of the moment. And the characters, the acting, the production value, like this is a straight to Tubi movie, and does it look like a straight to like Tubi Redbox film, like some just garbage that no one's gonna pick up? Like, oh my god, this movie was horrible. It's the worst movie of the year, in my opinion. Like, it actually is worse than Barbarian. This movie is just too fucking similar. The only thing they change is like the reveal at the end, but even I predicted that. Like, it was so predictable who the new killer was. Man, yeah, it's bad. Do not watch it on Tubi. It is terrible. So, with that out of the way, I guess now we can get into the ranking of Halloween and the Q&A. So, what I'm going to do here is, I figured why not go back and forth. I'll start with like my number 13 for Halloween, and then I'll answer a question and just go back and forth. How about that? So let me pull up my Halloween ranking on my phone. I don't even know where it's at. So it's probably going to take me a while because I got a lot of lists here. There it is. I got a lot of lists on my phone. So number 13, I think we all know this one. And that is Halloween Resurrection. It is a turd. Enough said. I got reviews for all these movies except for Halloween Ends that you can go check out to hear my full thoughts. So, first question here, and I didn't even prepare answers for these, so this is going to be interesting if I can even come up with an answer on the spot. Is there one movie you regret watching more than any other? Also, what is your favorite horror game overall? I know you used to do horror gameplays, which I loved. Are you planning on doing any more anytime soon? So that's 3 questions. The last question I'll answer real quick. No, I'm not going to do any more Let's Plays because, unlike you, no one else watched. So you watched them, you loved them. I'm glad you liked them. No one else watched them. So, what's my favorite horror game? I would say either The Last of Us Part 2. I like that one more than The Last of Us 1. And Until Dawn. And the Outlast games. I think I prefer Outlast 2. So that's like my top 3. It would be one of those. Is there one movie you regret watching more than any other? How about Barbarian or Terror Train remake? Or how about Fear.com? One of the worst movies ever made that just ruined my childhood. Because growing up, I would see the poster or the VHS box for Fear.com at Hollywood Video. And I would always wonder, like, what was that movie? Because the poster was scary. I would always like imagine like how scary that movie must be. And then I watched it one day as an adult, and it's fucking garbage. So I kind of regret watching that movie. So yeah, next ranking. So number 12 for now. I mean, I could see this going above the next one. I mean, my rankings change all the fucking time. I'll watch this franchise again, and it'll look a little bit different. But my number 12 for now is Halloween 5 because this movie just threw a bunch of stupid shit at the wall to see what would stick, and almost none of it did. I hate that they fucking made Jamie mute, Tina's character, killing Rachel early. A lot of shit's wrong with this movie, but it's got some good atmosphere. I like some of the kills. Donald Pleasance is batshit crazy in this one. So yeah, but just it's one of the most boring Halloween movies in the franchise too. So yeah, that's my number 12, Halloween 5. Next question. Hey, Mr. Hat, my question is... Oh, I didn't even say the names. I mean, do I have to? I probably can't even pronounce these names correctly. Angel Perdiot was the other one. This question is from the Eagles Get Away. So, hey, Mr. Hat, my question is, what was the movie that first introduced you to your love of horror? Mine was Poltergeist. The second, which is ironic since this is your next franchise you are covering, is Evil Dead 2. The movie that got me into horror, introduced me to horror, I can't answer questions like this with 100% certainty because my memory is complete shit. But my answer would be Child's Play. The Child's Play franchise, the Friday the 13th franchise, whatever I could catch on TV. But I always give the credit to Child's Play. But I can't be 100% certain on that. I just don't. Like, I'm pretty sure I was probably like 3 or 4 when I saw a horror movie on TV. You know, I don't know what the first movie I ever saw was, or, you know, the first at the theaters. You know, I'm jealous that other people know that. I don't remember. I don't even know what order I saw some of these franchises in. Like, I saw them all out of order. But yeah, so that is the end of that, I guess, right? Yeah. All right. So next question, the next ranking, number 11. Here we go. You ready, everybody? This is it. Halloween Ends. But is it though? Like, is it actually ending? Like, is it finally gonna fucking end? No, they're gonna make more. So yeah, Halloween Ends. What to say? This movie was just a disappointment for a film that I wasn't even really looking forward to that much. Like, I went in with low expectations, and I still did not like this movie. It's just not even a Halloween movie. They focus way too much on this character that I could give a shit less about. It's the most generic story. His story, like, it's the Rob Zombie remake all over again. It's like, oh, here's a guy who's got shitty parents, he's got bullies, and now he's a psychopath. Like, where have we seen this before? Oh yeah, a million other movies. He's got the same backstory as almost every other psychopath. And it's like, really, the marching band's picking on him? Like, since when is that a thing? Usually it's the jocks. Like, he's got this marching band picking on him, and he's getting the shit kicked out of him by these little fucking dweebs, and then all of a sudden he can kick the shit out of Myers, and Myers, his character is so fucking inconsistent now in this trilogy. Like, in Halloween 2018, he seemed like the you know, him being supernatural now was kind of questionable, and then in Halloween Kills, he's like full blown supernatural, getting shot multiple more times than he already was before. Like he got shot point blank in the heart by that one guy, stabbed with a pitchfork, stabbed with multiple knives in the gut, never bleeds out. He's supernatural. And now all of a sudden, he can just get his fucking wrist slit like he's sad in a bathtub about to kill himself and then die from it. Like he gets his spoiler. I guess I should have said that, but it's been how long now since the movie came out? If you haven't seen Halloween Ends by now, you're probably never going to watch it. But yeah, spoiler, Michael dies. And it's pretty lame. That fight, the whole movie was mismarketed as this fight between Laurie and Michael, and we barely got that. And the reason why they got together for that fight in the first place was just ridiculous. Like, how do we get Laurie and Michael in the same room together again so they can have their fight? Well, instead of doing the obvious, which is, what we set up at the end of Halloween Kills, which is Laurie hell-bent on revenge, because that's what this whole fucking trilogy was about originally. Now her daughter's dead in Halloween Kills. Now she's got more reason to go hunt this bastard down. But instead, she's going to turn the other cheek, follow Christ, write a book, fuck that. Now she's that character. So instead of having her go after Michael for revenge, let's just write this other character that no one will give a shit about, because who the fuck is this guy? And then we'll focus on him for an hour and a half, and then we'll make him steal Myers' mask for some reason, bring it to Laurie's house, and now Myers has to go get his mask back and just so happened to bump into Laurie. Now they can fight again. Instead of creating that long, convoluted bullshit excuse for why they're together fighting again, why can't you just go with the simple, she wants revenge motive? That's why. Have her seek him out. And why is he hiding in the sewers for 4 fucking years just waiting to rot? Just hangs up his hat, or his knife, just hangs it up all right, I'm done, gonna retire, just gonna kill myself in the sewer. I guess he's suicidal. I don't have that written down. But yeah, he's fucking just suicidal, old, feeble Myers just hanging out in the sewers. Why the sewers? Just fucking go anywhere else. Right? Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, as much as I don't really like it, it's better than this. It makes more sense. Myers' character in that. This was just stupid. None of the kills stand out. They're goreless, off screen for the most part. The ones that are on screen are repeats of shit we've seen before. And Myers kills one person in this movie. And the whole evil eyes angle thing was just stupid to me. And the score didn't even stand out. John Carpenter's score in this, I didn't even recognize it. Was it ever playing? It never caught my ear, so the music wasn't even good. The opening was predictable as fucking hell. Even without reading the plot synopsis about what was going to happen, what's going to happen. It's predictable. And why does every character have to be an asshole before they die? Why can't we just have likable, normal people in a movie for once getting killed? Let's make this kid a dick, so that when he gets pushed over the balcony, you're he deserves it. Why does he have to be a dick? He's just making fun of his fucking babysitter, calling him ugly. Every character was unlikable before they got killed. And then, there's this 50-year-old cop who's, in love with, Allison, 18, and, her whole love story. And, she falls in love with, Corey, and you don't give a shit because you know where that relationship's going. Down the shit tubes. That relationship's not going to last. You know that. And she seemed immature now. She should be more mature after everything. And she's older now. She just seemed like an immature high school girl. I'm going to run away on a bike. Let's go, Corey. And then, just hated it. Bad movie. Halloween Ends. Sucks. So, next question is, I could go on more. I have notes. I have more notes written down, but I talked about it long enough. And my throat's on fire now. I don't talk usually this long. I need a drink. So, next question from Chas Remington is, would you ever consider reviewing movies no one ever talks about, like Mind Over Murder from 79, never heard of it, or Trapped from 89, never heard of it? Yes, they're pretty old and TV movies, well, there's the reason why, at that, but pretty good actually for what they are. So would I ever consider reviewing those? Well, seeing as how I'm not reviewing new movies anymore, and taking patron requests because I canceled my Patreon, the answer is no. I don't even see those movies streaming anywhere. So maybe if they're on YouTube for free, I might check them out when I'm at work on break. I'll watch a little bit of them. But no, would I review them? No. I've never even heard of those movies, Mind Over Murder and Trapped. No, but so yeah. Next up for the ranking, number 10 is Halloween H2O. This is a movie that sometimes I think is fine, and then other times I think it's just bad. And the reason why I think it's so bad is because it's just boring in the middle. It's too dramatic. It's like a melodrama. The kills, there's hardly any kills, missed opportunities, and the mask is shit. And this is my least favorite Michael Myers actor portrayal in this one by far. But, there's some pluses, but if you want to hear those pluses, go to my review. Next question are by Daniel J. Nicholas. Are there any movies you wish would, in capital letters, get remade? How about The Burning? That's my first go-to, because that's an 80s cult classic slasher that has yet to be remade. And there's so many slashers that have been remade. Terror Train just finally got one. When's The Burning going to get one? There's more to this question. I think this is more of a statement. Perhaps a movie you feel had a great idea set up, but which totally botched the execution and thus might really benefit from a second try. Yeah, again, The Burning. The Burning is great until the final chase. Then it's just horrible. It's boring, drawn out, and poorly edited with still images that you just know are still images from earlier in the film. It's just so horribly edited. But yeah, so I would like a remake of The Burning. And I've actually had an idea of a cool remake sequel, a movie that could take place in between events in the movie. What we find out at the end of The Burning is that, Cropsey wants to get revenge, I guess, against Todd, but he never gets to kill him. But it's he's one of 5 kids that caused Cropsey to burn. So it's he needs revenge against those other 4. So what I thought is, what if they made a Burning sequel, but you didn't, or remake, or this would technically be an in-between film? So what if they made a film where you didn't know it was actually taking place in between scenes in the original? So what I'm saying is, what if that wasn't the first camp he went to? I forget what it's called, Camp Blackfoot or something, the one where he goes on his killing spree. What if we get another movie, and during the movie, it actually takes place after the hooker kill? He kills the hooker, and then he goes to this other camp where he finds out where those other kids are, the ones that, did that prank on him. And he goes and he finds out where they are, and they just so happen to be working at a fucking camp like Todd, but a different camp. And he goes there and he fucking kills them and gets his revenge. And at the end of the movie, it ends with him arriving at Camp Blackfoot, and Tiger's going to fetch the baseball. And then you get that shot where he raises the shears to almost kill Tiger, but he doesn't. And when that happens in the movie, you're like, holy shit, this is leading into part 1. How cool would that be if they somehow did that, if they were able to pull that off? You would have to, direct it and write it in a certain way where it's not obvious, So that would be cool if you found out, this is an in-between film, That's just an idea I've had, because I feel like he needed to get revenge against those other kids, and he never even got to kill Todd. All he did was, hit him in the temple with his shears for some reason and just leave him alone. That was pretty stupid. So yeah, The Burning, that's the movie that needs to be remade. Next Halloween ranking is number 9, Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. This movie has really cool gore, kills, very vicious Myers, some interesting visuals. It's shot well, but I just fucking hate Laurie in this movie. I hate the dialogue in this movie. But I found out if you watch the theatrical version, it's actually less painful to get through. And I don't like what they did with Loomis's character. And I wish that Myers would have been, in his mask more, personally. But yeah, Brad Dourif, he's amazing in this. Great actor. So, yeah. Next question is from Nate Malice. It's often said the 80s slasher films were made to degrade women because the creators of those films hated women. Do you feel that's true? No, obviously not. I just think people like to be offended and they read too much into things. They want everything to have some kind of meaning or social statement. Like every film has to make a statement. Like not every film is trying to make a statement. When they were making Friday the 13th, Sean Cunningham wasn't like, I want to make a story that says, fuck women, they suck, they need to stay in the kitchen. That's why Alice is in the kitchen making coffee, because she's a woman. Like, no, he's not making a statement. It's just a fucking movie about people getting killed, and it's just trying to rip off Halloween and make money. It's a cash grab. That's what all movies are. All movies are cash grabs. Most. I would say most, if not all. They're just trying to make money. And some are trying to make statements, but I don't think these slashers in the 80s were trying to make statements about, hating women and trying to degrade them and, saying that, they hate women, the filmmakers. I don't think the filmmakers had that intention. They're just trying to make money. So Siskel and Ebert, they're the ones that started that, right? It was Siskel and Ebert. They're just morons. Like, they seem smart sometimes, but then they say shit like that. You can go and actually look up that review of Friday the 13th, like Siskel and Ebert being like, this is a statement on the feminist, it's an anti-feminist, it's like, they're so fucking dumb. But yeah, that's my opinion. There's actually a lot more questions here from Nate Malice. He says, do you own any horror action figures? If so, do you have any favorites? No, I do not own any action figures. If you could promote any double bill for movie theaters, which two films would you select? Anything goes. Jesus Christ, I could come up with so many answers for that. Like, anything goes? I would like to go to the theaters and see Kill Bill 1 and 2 off the top of my head. I would love to go see that. Jeez. Man, that's difficult. There's so many double billings you could do. Like, you could do like a Killer Dolls double billing, like go see Dolls and Child's Play at the theaters. You could go see like The Blob, and what would pair good with that? Like, I don't know, the Thing. I don't know, two remakes. That's a double billing. I don't know. Like, I would have to really think about that one. Are you looking forward to any upcoming horror games such as Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, etc., etc.? Yeah, I mean, I play horror video games from time to time. Not a lot, but if those games are like single player, then definitely I would like to play those. I'm not much of a multiplayer online person because they end up always kicking my ass and I just get frustrated. So I would like to play those games if they're like stories and one person. So yeah, enjoy the content, keep doing what you're doing. Sorry, I haven't been doing that much lately. So yeah, next ranking is number 8, and that is Halloween Kills. This is a movie that gets a little worse and worse upon rewatch. I enjoyed it at the theater, liked it. It was like a 3.5 out of 5. It's gone down in rating now. And the reason why I don't like this movie much is because of all the time wasted at the fucking hospital to promote that stupid message about mob mentality and geez, I'm getting all gassy here and burped. I've been talking so long here. Excuse me. But yeah, the whole hospital thing and the dialogue, the tone, the jokes, the Big John, Little John, they keep calling themselves that again when no one else is even there. It's like, dude, just say something else. You don't have to keep calling him Big John every time you want to fucking address him. Just say whatever you need to say without saying his fucking nickname. It's so cringeworthy. But the kills were fine. I thought the kills were overhyped. The gore, there's some gore, but not as much as people were saying, in my opinion. And I really did not like the third act. The showdown at the end was just anticlimactic for me. I did not like the mob scene at the end. Thought that could have been done way better. And there's a lot of things in this movie that just feel forced. But some good shots. The score is really good in this one. And so yeah, and Myers looks pretty awesome in this. So next question will be from Horror House. I was not expecting to go this long. I'm at like almost 50 minutes. I thought this was going to be 30 minutes max. I guess I need to just shut up, not talk so long. Horror House, not whorehouse. Horror House. What are your overall thoughts of American remakes of Asian movies? For example, The Grudge The Ring and One Missed Call. Well, you just named three that I've seen, and that's really it. Yeah, when it comes to Asian remakes, I think that's all I've seen is those three remakes. And I haven't seen One Missed Call in over a decade, so I can't really tell you what I think about those. That movie in particular, I just remember that ringtone. But The Grudge and The Ring I actually rewatched recently because of this question, and I like them. I prefer the Ring remake. I really enjoyed that one, and I like the Grudge remake. I like them. I haven't even seen the original, so I can't compare. I have not seen the original Asian films, but I will someday. I'll get on it. So, number 7 for my Halloween ranking is Rob Zombie's Halloween, his remake, the first one that I saw in the theaters. Yeah, just go to my ranking videos before my reviews. I don't want to talk much about each of these because my throat's going out. So that's why these videos need to be shorter. So I'll keep that in mind. If I make another video, I'll keep it under 30 minutes. How about that? So that my throat doesn't hurt. So, number 7, Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween. Next question from Stubborny Ellen. There's more. There's 4 questions here. Favorite decade of horror. I actually just did a tweet recently, and I said that I officially say that the 2010s are the best decade for horror since the 80s. I think it's actually better than the 80s. So 2010 to 2020, best decade. Favorite horror director. I actually made a top 10 horror directors video already, and so I'll spoil the answer here then. I guess you don't have to go to that video. I'll just say here, James Wan is my favorite horror director working today. I think he's done nothing bad so far. All his movies are great. And favorite movie not related to horror. So favorite non-horror movie. That's a tough one. Off the top of my head, that's very tough. Like one of my favorite comedies, like my favorite comedy, it could be like Basketball. I really think that movie's hilarious. I've seen it like 100 times. I rewatched The Nice Guys recently. I think that's a fantastic comedy. It's one of my favorites now. Favorite when it comes to action movies, I guess Terminator 2. I love Back to the Future. Like I don't have a favorite, like my go-to number one. I don't have that yet. I've never thought about it for more than a few seconds. Like action films, the John Wick trilogy, probably my favorite. The Raid 1 and 2. If you haven't seen those movies, I highly, highly recommend the Raid 1 and 2 if you're into like martial arts and action films. They're foreign, so if you don't like reading subtitles, I'm sure you can get them dubbed, but I recommend them. So, in a cheesy slasher, does the gore or the nudity make it more interesting? I don't know if it makes it more interesting, it just makes it more entertaining. In a cheesy, so like not just a slasher, but a cheesy one. So in a cheesy slasher, yeah, like both would help, really. Like, but what's my preference? Gore, obviously. Like when I watch a slasher, that's what I want more than anything is creative kills and gore. So yeah, that's important to me. So, but nudity, that's just like a plus, that's just an added bonus, So next for the ranking is number 6 is Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. I start to like this movie a little bit more and more every time I watch it. If I can successfully just ignore all the cult shit and get over it, the theatrical version at least, I really enjoy it. I think it looks pretty cool. The Myers in there, the gore, the kills. Again, see, gore. It's important. So yeah, number 6, Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers. Next question is from Liam03. Hey, Mr. Hat Movie Reviews. What was the first horror movie you remember seeing in the cinema? I talked about that earlier a little bit. I said I don't remember. I cannot tell you. It probably was it would have to be a movie between like the year 2000 and 2004. I was born in 95, so I started watching horror when I was like 5-6 years old. So I don't know what came out then that I would have saw. I saw Seed of Chucky In 2004, I saw Van Helsing, and I have a memory of seeing Willard, the remake, but I don't even remember the movie. So maybe I didn't see it, but for some reason I have a memory of seeing it, but there's no images from the film that come to mind. So maybe I haven't seen it. I don't know. Darkness Falls is another one that for some reason I think I saw. That was 2003, I think. So maybe that. I don't know. I cannot tell you. So I guess I would have to be Van Helsing or Darkness Falls or See the Chucky. I don't know which one. So Halloween ranking number 5 is Halloween H4O, the return of Michael Myers again. Or Halloween 2018. Fuck that title. I hate this trend where every movie has to just be the original's title. Like, it's so confusing. It's stupid. Quit, please. If Final Destination 6 comes out and it's called Final Destination, I will fucking, like, boycott. I will start, like, a Twitter petition. I'll be one of those assholes. Like, sign this petition as if it's gonna actually do something, you know? But yeah, Halloween, this is a movie that gets worse upon rewatch. It's the best of the trilogy still. But it just gets worse and worse because of the writing, the forced nature of things, the jokes, some of the dialogue. Oh, the Danny McBride, David Gordon Green just cannot write dialogue between characters. It's not, at least not in horror. Maybe they're good at comedy. I haven't seen much of their work outside of this trilogy. Maybe they're good elsewhere, but for this trilogy, their dialogue is rough. So, but yeah, I love Myers in this, the kills, the score, blah, blah, blah. It's good, but not great. So, next question from Phil Smith. Who's the better director between John Carpenter and James Wan? Well, I just answered the question not too long ago saying that James Wan was my favorite horror director, so that answers your question. Who I think is better? James Wan. Why? Because I can list quite a few movies from John Carpenter, horror and non-horror, that I can be like, that's meh, or that's just not good. James Wan, I can't say a single movie he's made is bad, even outside of horror. And, you know, the thriller he made with, like, Kevin Bacon, the revenge movie, and Furious 7, that's my favorite of that franchise, and Aquaman's probably my favorite of the DC universe, which I haven't seen all of them, to be honest, but it's one of the better ones in my opinion. So anything he touches, he just brings gold. Like, he's awesome. So James Wan, to me, is the better director. So, controversial statement, I'm sure. But, I mean, that's what I do all the time. I say controversial shit that I don't think is controversial until I look at the comment section later on. All right, so number 4 in my Halloween ranking is Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2. So, yeah, again, check out my reviews, and you'll find out what I like and dislike about it. I really need to speed along here. I want to get done. So, next question from Lawyers Watcher. Interesting name. One time ago, you said Auf Wiedersehen at the end of your videos. Are you connected to the German language in any way? Not really. I mean, my last name, I guess, is German, and I did study German for a while, but I'm not German. I'm American, and so no, I'm not connected to the language, but I do know it a decent amount. I'm not fluent. But I did study it for a little bit, and the reason why I said Auf Wiedersehen at the end of my videos was just to be different, I guess. It was just a little gimmick. Just like, you know, what can I say at the end of my video? How can I close it? You know, like, I'll just say Auf Wiedersehen instead of just being goodbye or adios or, you know, see you in the next video. Like, I was just being weird back then. I started my channel. I was like, all right, I gotta come up with these, you know, little gimmicks that will make me stand out. So I'll wear a name tag, and I'll fucking use a clapper thing, and I eventually just did away with that shit, because I was like, it's not working, no one gives a shit, and it looks stupid. So, yeah, I used to say Auf Wiedersehen, and now I don't. So, yeah, I used to throw my hat at the camera, I did all kinds of stupid stuff. Next rankings is Halloween 4 is my number 3. Probably one that I saw the most on TV. Halloween 4 and 5, for some reason, they were the ones that were on TV a lot. So So I have a lot of nostalgia for 4, but The Mask sucks. That's the one thing really holding this movie back, is the goddamn mask. If this movie had the mask from part 1, this movie would get much more love. It's got like the best ending in the franchise. It's got just so many good things. I love it. And so yeah, my number 3, Halloween 4. And last question, and it says favorite kill from each movie. Also, you can pick one. Well, I assumed that's what favorite kill meant. Like, I just pick one. I pick one favorite kill from each of these movies you listed. Interesting that you left out Child's Play and Final Destination. Come on, man. You only listed 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6, 5, 6. Friday the 13th, favorite kill from that would be, I guess, Kevin Bacon's kill. That's the goriest. That's the one that stands out the most. It's iconic, and it's Kevin Bacon. And my favorite kill from Nightmare on Elm Street, it could go between one or the other, but I'll go with Tina. I think Tina's kill's a little bit more iconic than Johnny Depp's. I just like, it's a longer scene. It's more disturbing because, the other guy's Rob or Rod is there witnessing it. And so, yeah, how they pulled that off was an interesting story to hear about. So, yeah, Tina's kill for Nightmare on Elm Street. Favorite kill for Halloween would be Bob, a kill that they just seem to keep repeating in every fucking movie in some way or another. Like, stop recreating kills, make new ones, please. But yeah, Bob's kill in the original, that's the best one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Well, actually, I should have said, like, which one? I mean, every one of these, there's more than one movie with that title. Are you talking about the remake of Friday the 13th? The remake of Nightmare on Elm Street? Are you talking about the 600 movies called Halloween? And how about the 3 movies called Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I'm assuming you're talking about the original. So my favorite kill from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I'll actually have to think about that one. How about Franklin? Because he deserved it. All right? Because he's annoying. He's annoying, and his actually, like, is bloody. Like, that's the only kill in the movie that has blood. And because he's in a wheelchair, it just makes it more fucked up. And because he's an annoying character, you're kind of like cheering, like, yes! Fuck you, Franklin. Just give her the goddamn flashlight and let her investigate on her own. She doesn't need you dragging her behind, fuckface. So, yeah, his kill, my favorite. Hellraiser. It's interesting that you went with Hellraiser. Like, there was a theme going here with slashers, and then all of a sudden you went with Hellraiser. My favorite kill from Hellraiser, I mean, I guess the only one that really stands out is the last one, right? The guy who gets ripped apart by the chains. So that one, that's my favorite kill. Because all the other ones, aren't they like a montage of like off-camera hammer kills? Like, there's not much to choose from there. You know what? Fuck it. I'll add to your question. I'll edit your question for you. I'm going to throw in Final Destination. Miss Luton would be my favorite kill from that one. And Child's Play, I guess, would be the electroshock kill. That one. I mean, there's so many other movies you could have thrown on this list. All right, so going to my ranking again, my final 2 movies. Number 2 is Halloween 3, a movie that has grown on me immensely over the years. Love it more and more. Love Tom Atkins. Love just the story behind this. My kids getting killed all across the globe, like everyone. And I mean, I hated it as a kid, saw it when I was a kid, and probably, I don't think I even finished it. I think I turned it off halfway through, like, where the fuck is Myers? And I just turned it off. And didn't rewatch it until probably 5 years ago. So, but now I love it. So, and my number 1, of course, is Halloween, the original, 1978, by John Carpenter. So, yeah, you knew that was coming. That's my ranking. That's the Q&A. That's my mini reviews. That's the end of episode 1 of whatever the fuck this is. I don't have a title for it. I don't know if I'll keep doing it. That depends on you guys. If you guys enjoy this, and I'll apologize again if you're still listening and you hate the audio. Like, is the audio good? How close do I need to get? I don't know. Like, I'm not a tech wizard. I've been tinkering with this thing, the settings, the filters. I've been trying to get it to sound decent, and I just don't know how to fucking do it. I wish I could be, like those other podcasts and YouTubers with the best microphone, like, where you can't hear shit in the background. I had to change seats, like I said earlier, because it's squeaking. So I'm trying to make the audio as good as I can. The other chair I had was squeaking like a motherfucker. If I moved even a little bit, just squeak, squeak, squeak. And I thought the mic was going to pick that up. So I'm sitting on the goddamn bar stool, which is breaking my fucking back. So yeah, I'm suffering for you guys. Yeah, so if let me know if the audio's good, because I'm not going to listen back to this 50-hour shit. Jesus Christ, an hour and 4 minutes. Fuck me. All right, yeah. So let me know what you guys think about this. If you want me to keep doing this, this is what it'll be basically from now on. Another thing. So I should talk about this. So yeah, before this, I'm not sure if there's anyone new watching this, but in case there is, before I went on my break for a month, I had a schedule where I would upload every Sunday and Wednesday, and I did edited videos, clips, graphics. I don't want to do neither of those things. I don't want to do the editing anymore, and I don't want to do the scheduled twice per week shit. I just want to upload when I want to upload. So I'm not going to promise you a certain day of the week anymore. So if I do continue what I'm doing now, it will just be random. I'll try to do it as often as I can, watch a few movies, and see what's going on, horror news-wise, stuff to talk about, and come up with a ranking. That's why I want these videos to be. I upload whenever I feel like it. I don't want to feel obligated because, hey, it's Wednesday, I gotta do it. But if I don't feel like it, you're going to tell when you're watching the video, he really has no energy because he doesn't want to fucking record right now. But I have to because it's Wednesday. I don't want to record on certain days anymore. I just want to record when I feel like it. And I don't want to edit no more because that's a chore that takes longer than the videos themselves. Those top 10s of the years, those were hours, 4 or 5 plus hours of editing. Slowly, little by little, recording clips, getting the posters, all the editing. It just took the wind out of me. I just could not take it anymore. So yeah, from now on, this is what I'll do. Just upload whenever I want. No editing. One take fucker. And, just whenever I want. So, and this is what I'll do. I'll just talk about, some things going on, horror, news topics, upcoming releases that I'm looking forward to. And then I'll talk about a few movies real quick just to give out some recommendations. And then I'll end the videos with a ranking or I've been thinking about doing a quiz too. I've done a few quizzes on the channel before, just, standalone quiz videos. But I have a whole book of them, and I could do those even if you want, where, I ask 20 questions about a certain franchise, something like that. So I could alternate maybe one video, this one was a ranking video and a Q&A, and the next video can be a Final Destination quiz, something like that. So that's what I want to do now. It's just mini reviews, horror news, and rankings / quizzes all in one video. So you get multiple things together. So I think this is better than what I was doing before. It's easier on me, and you get more per video. You get more content. You get to hear about more movies, more things going on in the horror world, upcoming releases, and you get rankings and all that shit all in one video. And I think it's a better idea. So let me know what you guys think. If you want me to continue doing this, if enough of you guys are watching, if no one seems to be watching these videos, then at the end of the year, I'll just stop altogether. But I'm not going to delete anything. Everything that's on my channel that I've ever uploaded is still there. Whenever I quit YouTube, I'm not going to delete the channel. So you can always go back and watch shit if you want. But yeah, so that's all I got to say. Let me know what you guys think about anything I said today. And so yeah, that's all I got to say. I'm not going to say Auf Wiedersehen. I'm not sure how to end this video. So I'll just end it with goodbye.